Today's lesson is order of operations. This should be on page 6 in your notebook. And remember that you're gluing it so that you can see the other side, but please do not do the other side when you're doing the video or after you do the video for homework. We're doing this side in class, okay? Alright, so let's look at the top. It says, the whole topic began when 4 people were sitting at a table trying to figure out the answer to this problem. So we have 3 plus 2 times 5 minus 6 divided by 2. There's 4 different people who said the following. Fred said, it's obvious the answer is 9.5. You just work it from left to right and anyone will get that answer. Wilma says, no, Fred, you're wrong. It is 3.5 because you must multiply the 2 times the 5 first and then work from left to right. Then Barney says, no, the answer is 10 because you must multiply the 2 times the 5, then divide 6 by 2, then work from left to right. And then Betty says, I don't know, I think the answer is -5, but I don't explain why. What do you think the answer is? Well, you're going to go back and actually solve this problem after you look at how you're supposed to be doing the order of operations. So at the bottom here, I have a table or a little chart that helps you remember the steps. So the order of operations is the order in which you solve a problem. So G stands for grouping symbols. And those are your parentheses, your braces, and your brackets. Okay, those are your grouping symbols. Then E stands for exponents. Your exponents. And here are some examples of exponents. 7 to the 2nd, x to the 4th, 10 to the 6th. Those are just examples of what exponents should look like. Then M stands for, you have multiplication or division. Okay? And you want to work from left to right. So when you're coming up to multiplication and division, it's left to right. So multiplication not only comes first, always comes first. You work left to right. And the S stands for, obviously, subtract or add, and that's also left to right. Left to right. R, L to R means left to right. So this is the order for which you should do this. So you do your grouping symbols, then your exponents, multiplication or division left to right, subtract or addition left to right. So I'm going to walk you through 3 example problems, and remember you can go back through this video as many times as you want to. So let's take a look at the A. Alright, so we have 3 plus 2 to the 3rd minus, and then in parentheses, 8 minus 4. Alright, so let's go back to our graphic organizer. And the first thing I'm going to look at, do I have any grouping symbols? So I look back at the problem. I do have grouping symbols. I have parentheses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to underline the very first step that I'm going to do. And I'm only going to do that one thing. So everything else I'm going to recopy. So I'm going to bring down the 3 plus the 2/3 minus, and now I'm going to replace 8 minus 4 with the value. So 8 minus 4 is really going to be 4. So I'm done with that step. So I am done with parentheses. Then I go back. Alright, so what's next? Exponents. Do I have any exponents? Looking at this, I do have exponents. I have 2 to the 3rd. So again, I'm only going to do that one step. So I'm going to bring down everything else. Okay? So what's 2 to the third? Well, I'm going to write it to the side. 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. And 4 times 2 is 8. So 2 to the third, 2 cubed is 8. And then minus the 4. Then I'm going to go back. Then no more exponents. So then I'm going to look at, do I have multiplication or division? So look at my problem. Well, I have add and then I have subtract. So I don't need to do any multiplication and division. So then I go to subtract or add. So then I ask myself, which one comes first, subtract or add? Left to right. So I have 3 plus 8 minus 4. So it's like reading a book. I'm going to go back to the beginning because all I have left is an add or subtract. Go back. I'm going to do the 3 plus the 8 first. So I'm going to underline the step that I'm going to do. So 3 plus 8 is 11. And then minus 4. And then I have 11 minus 4 left. 11 minus 4 is 7. So what you're going to end up with is almost like a V when you're done with a shape. Okay? Just like the graphic organizer or the little what's called gems. You're going to end up with a V in the end and get your answer. Let's do B. Again, starting at the top, do I have any grouping symbols? So I'm looking at, alright, I don't have any grouping symbols, so I'm going to go to E, which is exponents. Do I have any exponents? I do, 2 to the third. So I'm going to rewrite 4 plus 10 times, well, 2 to the third, that's 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. Okay, so I rewrote that as 8 minus 16. So then, I don't have any more exponents, and I go to M, which means multiplication or division, whatever comes first, left to right. So I go to the beginning. I'm looking for multiplication or division, left to right. So here we go. I got plus. No, I'm not looking for plus. I'm looking for multiplication. Do I have any multiplication or division? I have a 10 times 8. So I'm going to underline the 10 times the 8, and that's going to be 80. I'm going to bring down the 4 plus, and I'm going to bring down the minus 16. See how I'm doing? Again, I'm doing one step at a time. So I'm done with multiplication and division. There's no more multiplication and division. Then I go back. Okay, now I'm going to take care of the subtraction or the addition left to right. So start at the beginning. I'm going to add and subtract. I'm going to start at the beginning. I'm going to add first because that's what's come first. So I'm going to do 4 plus 8. 4 plus 80 is 84. Then bring down the 6 minus 16. So 84 minus 16, of course, if you have to write it out too, if you don't know it at the top of your head, okay, 14 minus 6, 8, 68. Alright, so again, I'm making that V. It will come out sort of like a V when you're done. Alright. Alright. Let's look at one last one. So again, I'm going to start at the very top. Do I have any grouping symbols? I do have grouping symbols. I have parentheses. So I'm going to underline that step. I'm going to bring down the 3. I'm going to put that in the parentheses. 9 plus 1 is 10. Plus the 6 squared divided by 3. Alright? Now, this doesn't mean parentheses. If you have a number right next to another number and this 10 is enclosed by parentheses, this operation means multiply. That really means 3 times 10. That really means 3 times 10. So I'm done with parentheses or grouping symbols. Then I look back. Do I have exponents? I do have an exponent. That's 6 squared. Well, how many times am I going to multiply 6? 6 times 6, well, 6 times 6 is 36. I'm going to rewrite the 3 times the 10, that means times, plus, that 6 times 6 is 36, and then divide by 3. So, do I have any more exponents? No, I do not. So I go to the next thing, which is the multiplication or division. I look in my problem, and I have multiplication, and I also have division, but I'm going to start over again because I got to do whatever comes first. Whatever comes first, left to right. So the multiplication comes first. So I do 3 times 10, which is 30, and then I'm going to bring down everything else. Remember, you're doing one step at a time. So then I double check, okay, so now what? Do I have any more multiplication and division? I do. I have division still. Then I do 36 divided by 3. If you don't know what 36 divided by 3 off the top of your head, then write it out. Well, 3 into 3 goes once. And then 3 into 6 goes 12. So 36 divided by 36 divided by 3 is 12. And then I'm going to do 30 plus 12. Well, 30 plus 12 is 42. Again, and you're making kind of like a V. So that's order of operations using the GEMS method or your graphic organizer to remember the steps. So tomorrow, having done this video and knowing what we're going to be doing for practice, come prepared to practice on order of operations.